Good morning, y'all. Today is Wednesday, April the 4th, and it is my only day this week that I consider to be off. I had Cade Monday and Tuesday, and tomorrow is the day that my housekeeper comes. I am very blessed to have her come every other week. And then Friday I have Cade again. So I'm trying to take advantage of this day and everything I can possibly do. I got up early this morning, did my Bible study, and sent out my text messages. I cleaned house. After Cade's been here for a couple of days in a row, my house is a wreck. Absolutely a wreck. He is precious. He is walking everywhere now. Yesterday, about 3 o'clock or so, he learned to scream. And he loved it so much. He was so tickled with himself that he just screamed and screamed and screamed until his mama came to get him about 4:15. Needless to say, I was ready for him to go. He is precious, and I'm having a good time with him, but I'm 71. What can I say? I'm worn out at the end of the day. I hope that the sound is better for you all. I did buy a microphone. Look at this. I feel like a professional here with this little microphone on. And when I tested it, it about blew me out. So I'm thinking y'all can surely hear this a little bit better. If you can't, let me know, and I'll see if there's some other trick that I can figure out. I told you last time I was going to start my videos with an I remember when session. I don't know what else to call it. And so this time I'm going to tell you two things. I've moved up from that birthday party that I talked about when I was 5 or 6 up to about the time I was 15 or 16. I can't remember exactly which, but I had a boyfriend who had a car, and I had a curfew that was what I considered to be much too early. I suspect it was probably 11 o'clock on Saturday night, although I'm not really sure about that. My parents' bedroom was on the front of our house, and my sister and I had a bedroom on the very back of the house. And so there were times when I would go in the front door and out the back. Now, I know y'all are finding that hard to believe about me, aren't you? Some of you are not. It was all perfectly innocent, I promise, except that my parents didn't know about it. And I'm kind of thankful that today they're not here for me to hear this. But I did. We would go out and sit in his car in the driveway and talk for another hour before I would come in. And then another memory from that time was my senior year prom. I was dating my husband-to-be and bought a dress that I look back at today and think that was absolutely hideous. I'm not sure I even liked it at the time, but we were very, very poor, and and I worked, and it was what I could afford. It was yellow, and I think it might have been strapless, maybe, and it had one of those big bouffant skirts, that go way out with all the layers of petticoats. And I had yellow potassois heels dyed to match. Never had done that before in my life, but I did. We went to the dance, and I took my shoes off to dance, and by the end of the dance, they were completely gone. Never found those shoes again. Lost my shoes at the prom. That was at a time, that would have been in 1964. After the prom, we all went home and changed clothes and went back to another school function, and it was a music thing where they had guitars and stuff. It was called a hootenanny. And then when we left there was a breakfast early in the morning, so we were out all night long, the first time ever. I have something really sad to report, two really sad things. First of all, I lost my iPad last week. I'm just heartsick. we went to Branson for a few days with our son and his family, and I think I left it on the bed in that condo where we stayed. I've done all the things that you're supposed to do. I called the condo unit, reported it. I sent in their online form. I made a police report. It's locked, which I think doesn't really mean anything at all, other than it might make it a little bit more difficult for somebody to wipe it and reuse it. I've changed all my passwords, all the stuff, everything you're supposed to do. But it has not turned up, and that was like March the 24th, I think, was the Saturday we left there. Anyway, my iPad is gone. I'm very, very sick about that. That's a lot of money, just to lose. And then the second thing that I'm really sad about, this week, Jerry and I went somewhere, and I took some stitching with me in the car, and I had it in this bag. Somehow, neither one of us could figure out how, this part of the bag got wet, and look what it did. It faded right there. This is just a purple yarn that I used around here. I have no idea what that yarn is, but it has faded and feathered out here. I'm going to have to take it apart and see what I can do with it. I don't know. Anybody got any suggestions? I guess that I'm kind of losing my mind. I've lost my iPad, and then yesterday I had worked in my sewing room for a while one day, and I had a sack of trash and I had a sack of things to go to the Salvation Army. And since it was trash day, I grabbed the sack of trash and took it to the kitchen and put it with all the rest. My husband took it out, and the trash bin came and it's gone. Well, today when I was gathering up some other stuff I have to take to the Salvation Army, and what I found in the sewing room was the sack of trash. So I'm assuming I sent the Salvation Army sack with the trash. I don't know when I made my last video, but it's been a little while, and I really have missed you guys. And that sounds so crazy to say that because you're not here, but it's like I think about you being here. And sometimes if you haven't videoed for a while, I've been watching. I borrowed an iPad from my daughter who had a couple of them. And I watch on the iPad. No, I watch on the TV and comment on the iPad. So in between times, I watched a bunch but didn't get to comment. And then now I'm back to commenting again. And when you don't have a video out, I know how I miss you. Your videos pop up and I think, yay, there she is, or there he is. So I'm always glad to see you. Okay, FFOs. I have a list, y'all. I'm going to do FFOs. I'm going to do finished objects, also in a gift. I have a whip to show you. I have some bags, some that I made a little while back, some that I just made a couple of weeks ago that I'm ready to sell, so I'll show you those. And lastly, I'm going to do the things that I've bought. I know some people don't care for that, so I'm going to put that last. And can we say temporary insanity? I'm going to plead that on the stuff I bought. Okay? That's all I'm going to say right now. I forgot to tell y'all, I'm going to the May retreat in Minneapolis, and that's not very far away. So, I'm excited I'm going to get to see some of y'all. Punch needle. Can you see this? This is the one I was working on last time, I think, that I saw you. It is out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, called Crooked Little House, and it's designed by Sally Van Nuys of Folk and Fiber. And I finished it on this little horn book. And I think most people finish them with it like that, but that didn't make any sense to me because I think a horn book is something that they used to look at like this. So anyway, I don't know. I finished it like this. This turned out to be really cute, I think. I don't have another punch needle started, but I have several patterns picked out and waiting. That's the only current FFO I have, but I wanted to show you. I know Easter is over, but keep this in mind for next year. Several years ago, I'm going to say in the late 70s or early 80s, I made these little plastic egg bands. They are, oh gosh, maybe an inch or so wide, and I put lace around the edges of them, and they're different, just little. I don't think I had patterns. I picked parts of patterns probably for these. And I've got, there's another one. This is yellow with little purple flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Multicolored little flowers. Oh, this one I did, it has my son's name on it, Rusty. I'm sure I did the girls too, and they probably have theirs. This one says Happy Easter. This one is just a simple little zigzag. Another one with flowers, tulips on that one. These just slip off. You know, they go right around the middle. This one says Bunny Magic. Maybe I did have a book. I have no idea. And this one says Welcome Springtime. I love getting these out every year and putting them in a basket in my living area. This was a gift that I got from a sweet, sweet friend, Miss Jean. Miss Jean, I'm sorry, honey, I cannot remember how old you are. 92? Maybe 94? I'm barely remembering my own age. But anyway, she stitched this for me for Christmas. Is that not cute? And she just frayed the edges and then stitched it together here with a little bit of flannel on the back. I love that. I will treasure it. Okay, FOs. One of the things I got pre-market and at market was Plum Street Samplers Noah's Ark. I thought these would be really cute. That's Noah's Ark 1. Each one of them has 2 patterns on it. Let me see if I can get a little closer for you. And this is Noah's Ark 2. There will be at least 6 of these patterns. Maybe more. But 6 patterns, 12 ornaments. I'm going to make ornaments out of these for Cade. Hopefully for his Christmas present for next year. And I did the first one on Noah's Ark 1. This is the crocodiles. I used the called for threads and R&R 36 count. I think I used, yeah, Patriot's Brew. I used the called for fabric on this. One more time. Isn't that adorable? And honestly, they don't take that long to stitch when you have time to stitch. Finding the time right now is a little difficult for me. This is another FO. Happy You. This is from Shepherd's Bush. It's a free pattern when you buy the button from JABC, Jabco. Isn't he cute? I have several of these. I have a Halloween one and a 4th of July and Christmas. I think maybe one that says blessings to you. Gonna make those into pin keeps. This is my current, where are you? WIP. Hello Spring. I've just put everything else aside right now to try to get some spring things stitched. I am going back today to Early Americans. I am working on the 7th one. Have 2 more to go after this. Hello Spring, and I have all the rest of these: summer, autumn, winter. This is on an 18 count ivory. No, it's not. I don't know what it's on. I think I changed my mind and changed fabrics. But anyway, and I'm using the fall called for threads on this one. There we go. I've just started the blue in the flower. The side where the bunny is, all the way to the center, is complete. I still have the flower, the blue flower, and then there's a brown flower. The 3 little things in the middle, those are flowers, and they have pink that goes in, and then just a leaf that needs to be filled in. So not too far away from being finished on that one as well. I thought I would show you a couple of vintage things. Maybe would give you a peek at a couple of more wool things that I've done. This is a little throw pillow. This is wool applique. I did this several years ago using a blanket stitch. It's all wool. And I told y'all I had some more of these little candle mats, and I found those. Here's the tulip one. This is the Valentine one with hearts. And the March one with, no, that's April. That's April with the umbrellas. But the vintage thing I wanted to show you was this little heart that my husband's grandmother crocheted. And years ago, when she died, which would have been, I don't know, early 80s, I think, I put it in this frame, and I have it sitting on a desk in my living room. And it goes on this little easel. It has begun to discolor around the edges, but I really think that just kind of adds to the beauty of it. I don't know. I like it. Okay, I'm crossing off my list, y'all. I'm ready to show you my bags. These are different sizes. I'll put my email address down below. These are all different sizes, so if you're interested in one, you might want to ask me about the size. I have 2 out of this fabric. This one that has a yellow ribbon as the zipper pull, and this one which has a charm. It's a little mouse. And if you're interested in this one, I'm going to call it the yellow ones. One with a charm, one with a ribbon. This is one I made quite some. All of these are zippered bags. They're all lined. They're all double-stitched seams. I made this one, I think, several months ago, but I never did sell it. It has a little pocket on the front that's the same as the lining fabric. There are 2 out of this fabric. This one with the rickrack. This one I'm going to call teal. That one before this was a burgundy. This one I'm going to call teal, and it has pink, a pink ribbon. This one is teal, and it's quite a bit bigger than the one before, and it has a charm. It has a little key on the front. Those are all zippered bags. I have 3 bags that I call Vanna bags. They're the fold-over ones. A couple of them have Velcro to close them. This one does not. This is red, and it's got this lining. This one is daisies. It has a button on the front right here. It has a Velcro closure and a yellow gingham. This one's one of my favorites. And I'm going to call it green and yellow because it's got these big elephant ear sort of leaves. Sorry, my computer did something weird. And pom-pom trim. It also has a Velcro closure and this little sweet print as the lining. Now, if anybody's got a Christmas project that you need a bag for, I have two. These are zippered bags. This one is Santa. And this one is Mittens. And that's it for right now. I've got half a dozen cut out and ready to sew, but Cade does not like for me to sew. I can't even imagine why, but he doesn't. Actually, it's not so much that he doesn't like it, it's that he tries to eat everything in my sewing room. And so I have to be much more cautious when he's around, and I just stay out of here. It's easier. Okay, let's talk about stuff we've bought. I'm pretty sure that I didn't buy as much as some of you did. I'm also pretty sure that I bought more than some of you did because I think I lost my mind. But now, in my defense, I'm going to say this stuff that I bought that I'm going to show you, some of it I bought last month and didn't tell you about. I don't remember why I didn't. I just didn't get to these or something. But anyway, you'll understand, I'm sure, that some of this was not market stuff. I bought this little book because Magnolia Nana was stitching these elephants for her grandbaby, and they were so cute. I thought that this would just make a wonderful, wonderful book to have for baby things that I needed to make. All right, this is Market. This one is Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? Oh my goodness, I'm just in love with that. I love everything Blackberry Designs does. I wish I had every single bit of it. Then I haven't seen many people pick this one up, but I'm in love with this. Kathy Barrick did this garden sampler. It's called Garden Vegetables. And it's the dates that you plant. I don't garden. No, I don't garden. But I do stitch, and I like that. So, there you go. I also bought, I'm in love with Beth Twisted Heartstring Samplery. In love. Girl Crush, is that what that's called? This is Prairie Life Sampler. What is not to love about that? Oh my goodness. And I've bought the fabric. I bought a classic homespun. Oh yeah, that's what she calls for. No wonder I bought that. Classic homespun for that one. Now remember, some of these are not market. Some of them are. Deck the Halls, another Blackbird Designs. And look at this. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. My pen keep. My pen Rose. I found this. I found a new shop. I didn't find it, but I went to a new shop that I've known about for a while in Conway, Arkansas, and saw this one, and it was stitched up, and it's so cute. It's a shepherd's bush. Crown Thy Good. It's a kit. It's got the rickrack and the thread and the beads. A couple of Scarlet House patterns. Christmas in the Village and School Days. And then I have a couple of, let's see, where'd the other one go? Oh yeah, here. A couple of patterns that I call my mom patterns. This is called Home is Mom. Home is where your mom is. And I'll tell you why I bought this. One of my daughters we moved quite a bit. My husband was an educator, and I was an educator, and he coached football before that. And so coaches, they just kind of move around, and then principals move around as they're moving up the ladder. And one of the moves we made was right after my oldest daughter graduated from high school. And she told a friend one time she was going home for the weekend. And they asked her, how could you be going home when you've never lived in that house where your parents are? And she said, home is where my mama and her stuff are. And so I couldn't turn this one down. I may have to add that. Home is where your mom and her stuff are. And then I'm going to do this series, Letters from Mom. Oh, this is Jeanette Douglas. It's just beautiful. This is the envelope that you make to start with, and this is just the first pattern, and there will be postcards coming out, patterns for postcards coming out that you put in the envelopes. I hope that I'm very ambitious and make one for all three of my children, and I won't make every postcard for every kid, but maybe some. Okay, Plum Street got a lot of my business. Wilhelmina, Pennsylvania Fractor, Babushka's Bees, the Milk and Cream Company, and this Jane Austen one, 100 Ways. I suppose there may be 100 different ways of being in love. Actually, a couple of patterns are missing because I bought some of Teresa's. They're in the other room, I guess. Stacy Nash has these animal crackers, and I bought the elephant. I don't know. I just liked his face. And then this is Brenda Gervais. I bought the Basket Full of Summertime. Whoops. There we go. Basket Full of Summertime. And Basket Full of Spring. I did not buy the other two. If they're out, I don't know. Another Shakespeare's Peddler, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and Let It Begin With Me. And a Pineberry Lane, Mrs. McGuire's Hen House. I have Mrs. McGuire, the beekeeper. I found this Erica Michaels pattern, Sisters. They laughed a little louder, they cried a little softer, they lived a little stronger because they stood together. Sisters. Don't count on this anytime soon, Sherry. Someday. And then the last one I have in here, I hope this is the last of them. This may be my favorite of all of them. It's a heartstring samplery, and it says, Thou God seest me. That one just grabbed my heart. Okay, so I'm almost at 30 minutes, which is where I try to hold things. I have watched so many of you over the last month that I'm not going to call any names, but I'm way, way, way behind on watching videos. That's another thing Cade interferes with. He prefers nursery rhymes on TV. But I'll get to them eventually. And for those of you who are going to the May retreat, I'm excited about seeing you there. I'll be back before then, of course. I'm not sure when. I so admire those of you who have a regular schedule for your videos, like Bendy Stitchy. I can count on her every single Tuesday. But I just can't manage that. So maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But anyway, I love y'all, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.